20 billion. The valuation FIFA has put on a new company that would run the commercial rights to the World Cup. 20%, the slice they're offering to private investors. And 55-0, the unanimous vote by every single European Football Association to boycott every FIFA competition, including the World Cup, until the plan is dead. 9 days ago, Spain lifted the trophy in New Jersey. Today, the World Cup champions are threatening not to defend it. In this video, what FIFA is actually selling, the arithmetic that critics call bribery, why the man hired to advise Infantino quit yesterday in protest, and the paradox that could destroy the whole deal. And subscribe to the channel in advance. If you don't enjoy the video, you can simply unsubscribe at the end. Deal? Let's start with what's actually on the table. First, precision, because the headlines are messier than the facts. FIFA has not sold anything. On Tuesday, it proposed creating a subsidiary called FIFA Forward Enterprise, or FFE, and moving into it the commercial machinery of world football, broadcast and streaming rights, sponsorships, ticketing, licensing, and the operational delivery of FIFA's tournaments, the Men's and Women's World Cups, the youth tournaments, the Club World Cup. That company is valued at around $20 billion, and FIFA wants to sell up to 20% to outside investors. FIFA insists it keeps over 80% board control and total authority over rules, calendar, and formats, and nothing happens unless a majority of FIFA's 211 member associations vote yes. So no, nobody is handing over the trophy. What's being sold is a share of the money the World Cup generates forever, which, depending on who you ask, is either a technicality or the whole ball game. Now, the arithmetic that turned this into a war. To get that majority, FIFA has offered every member association a one-off payment of $20 million, plus a rise in annual funding, and by ESPN's count, more than $80 million per association in total between now and 2037. The deadline to accept, September 19th. Now multiply. 211 associations times $20 million is about $4.2 billion. And $4.2 billion is roughly what FIFA expects to raise by selling that 20% stake. In other words, the money coming in from investors is almost exactly the money going out to the federations that have to approve it. FIFA calls this the democratization of football. Every association funding its own future instead of depending on others. UEFA called it something else. Governance by intimidation. Which raises the question nobody at FIFA has answered well. Why does FIFA need the money? This was the most lucrative World Cup ever staged. FIFA projected over $15 billion for the cycle. It has billions in reserves, essentially no debt, and had already budgeted a record development program for the next 4 years. And that's precisely what makes yesterday so damaging. Carlos Cordeiro, senior advisor to Infantino, former Goldman Sachs partner, 35 years in banking, resigned in protest. His words, "FIFA is mortgaging football's future without any compelling justification. A bad deal for the member associations, a bad deal for football, a bad deal for the long-term future of the game." And he added something more damning. He had no involvement in the proposal at all. The president's own senior financial advisor found out with everyone else. So what happens if it goes through? Follow the incentive. Reporting on the investor presentation says the pitch to buyers included growing FIFA's annual events from roughly 200 to 450. More tournaments, more commercial products, higher media rights income, potentially debt financing. And here's the mechanism people miss. Investors reportedly wouldn't take normal cash dividends. They'd make their money by selling the stake later at a higher price. Which means FFE must keep getting more valuable, forever. And a company whose only real assets are football tournaments grows in a few predictable ways. More matches, more competitions, higher ticket prices, and moving broadcasts from free television to whoever pays the most. Nobody has to vote to change the football calendar. The pressure arrives through the balance sheet. Which brings us to Thursday, when Europe pressed the red button. In an emergency online meeting, more than 50 of UEFA's 55 associations took the floor, and the vote was unanimous. Their statement? The World Cup cannot be treated as an investment product. It was built over generations by players, teams, and supporters. And, the line that's now everywhere, the World Cup is not for sale. This isn't a protest letter. It's a declared boycott of every FIFA competition until the project is withdrawn. Read what that means. The reigning world champions Spain, plus France, England, Germany, Italy, all out of the 2030 World Cup, a tournament partly hosted in Spain and Portugal. And within days, it stopped being just Europe. CONCACAF, the confederation that just co-hosted this World Cup, rejected the plan too, and Asia's confederation declared solidarity. Neither joined the boycott, but between them, those three blocs represent a clear majority of FIFA's 211 votes. As of today, the plan doesn't have the numbers. And here's the paradox that makes this so strange. The threat of a boycott destroys the value of the very thing FIFA is trying to sell. Nobody pays $20 billion for a World Cup that Spain, France, England, and Germany don't attend. Europe's ultimatum isn't just political pressure, it's an attack on the price tag. To be fair to FIFA, their response is direct. Nobody is selling football, they say. FFE would keep FIFA in sole control, and if the associations don't approve it, the company simply won't exist. They also make a fair point, that no single body speaks for all 211 members, and that smaller federations, who genuinely have far less money than Europe's giants, deserve a vote on their own future. The problem isn't only the deal. It's that a plan of this size reached the brink of approval before most of world football had heard of it. And the timing is brutal. The next FIFA tournament kicks off in weeks, the Women's Under-20 World Cup in Poland starting September 5th. FIFA's deadline is September 19th. The deadline lands in the middle of the tournament. So here's my question for you. FIFA says it's selling a stake in a commercial company, not the sport. But if that company's entire value depends on the World Cup, where does the business end and where does football begin? And would you actually boycott if you ran your federation? Tell me in the comments. And if you want the full breakdown of the tournament everyone is now fighting over, the story of this World Cup is already on the channel.